No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of WrestleMania Raw, the final episode of Raw before WrestleMania 39 coming up this weekend in Inglewood, California. 70,000 plus fans expected each night. It is going to be a happening. Shout out to the early birds. Good old JM, Jeff Meacham in the house. Make sure you guys check out his channel at jeffmeachamnetwork.com. He will be going live right after I finish this live stream. Check that out. Walter Cruz, City by the Bay, Calvin Bowman, David, Mohammed, CC Drink, K-Dog28, Dave Scheffler. Thank you all for tuning in early. Now, let's get into this show, the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw. We had Miz TV with the WrestleMania guest host, The Miz. He brought out Team Becky, Becky Lynch, her tag team partner, Lita. They are the tag team champions. And Trish Stratus. Crowd chanted tiny balls at The Miz. Becky talked about the history she's had with Damage Control. And Miz was doing his usual deal, stirring up the pot. And he asked why Trish and Lita came back just to be backup for Becky. Lita does not feel that way, but before she could finish what she wanted to say, Damage Control came out there. Bayley said their dream is to take out the top woman in WWE, Becky Lynch, and 2 Hall of Famers. Becky responded by saying Damage Control hasn't really done much of anything. And Becky was hoping that the feud would have been done at War Games, and now it's going to have to end at WrestleMania. Good little promo segment here to set up our first match, which was Iyo Skye versus Becky Lynch. And this was a very solid match between these two, back and forth. Becky was taking it to Iyo, and Iyo definitely got in some offense. You had the others on the outside of the ring, and Becky was grabbing at Bayley's hair, and that's when Iyo took advantage for a while. Iyo hit several moves, got a few near falls on Becky, hit a springboard drop kick, and then she did a springboard moonsault to the outside of the ring. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Good showing here for Iyo Shirai. And I agree with Matthew, probably her best match on the main roster to date. Becky avoided the moonsault, though, and then hit the manhandle slam. Got the win. And I have my prediction. After watching all this, I think I have a solid idea of where this is going, but you guys will have to tune in for WrestleMania Saturday predictions. And not only are we predicting matches like the outcomes, at this point, we're predicting which matches are going to be on WrestleMania Saturday. We really don't know that much. John Cena versus Theory, that's kicking off on WrestleMania Saturday. Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, but nothing else has officially been confirmed. So we're almost going in blind. We're going to predict 7 matches. And I will not tell you which ones because it's not a sure thing. And maybe WWE announces some things on Tuesday. We'll see. We had an Asuka video package to hype up her match with Bianca Belair. And later on in the show, we also had a Bianca Belair video package. This was the final build. So no actual appearances from them on Raw, just the video packages. And just as a reminder, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, will be WrestleMania Saturday predictions, or WrestleMania predictions part 1. We might have to go with that, but there will be 2 live streams, Tuesday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and then Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, I will tweet out the information sometime on Tuesday. So look out for that at NoDQDOTCOM on social media outlets. So make sure you guys are following either through Facebook or Twitter to get the latest updates. We had a clip of earlier in the show, Mustafa Ali said that he wanted to help Seth Rollins see a positive side to Logan Paul knocking him out twice. Basically, Ali is being this little annoying heel that is preaching positivity, but he's really just being a jackass. I'm not digging the gimmick. I mean, they're trying with the poor guy, but yeah, I really do not care about him. So anyways, we had a match here, Rollins versus Ali. Ali had no entrance. Crowd was singing Rollins' song. It was basically a squash. Ali did a little bit of trash talking, but then he got sent into the corner, put in the Tree of Woe position. Rollins hit him with a stomp and then hit a regular stomp. Got the 1-2-3 victory. No surprise here. And then after the match, Seth Rollins cut a promo, post-match promo, basically said if he cannot beat Logan at WrestleMania, Logan's not the joke, he is. Rollins brought up all the stuff like Logan eliminating him in the Royal Rumble, costing him Elimination Chamber, knocking him out twice, and Rollins said it's going to come back around at WrestleMania and the crowd will be singing on Logan Paul's birthday, but it will not be the birthday song, Happy Birthday. Instead, they will be singing the song of Seth freaking Rollins. And I also have a confident prediction for this match too, but again, you'll have to tune in. And which night am I talking about it? To quote Lex Luger, I don't know. Just tune in. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and then Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Hamp Connell sent in a $2 super chat, says, I believe Dominic said his matches on Saturday. Could somebody confirm that for me? Did he actually say that? Because that would be a little bit helpful. Hey, one additional match for Saturday confirmed can narrow it down a bit. So somebody in the chat room, let me know if he in fact did say that. Now we had Baron Corbin backstage complaining to Adam Pearce just about the state of his career, and another guy that nobody really cares about. He's got no WrestleMania program, although he is in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or the Dre, as I like to put it. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat, says, I'm now hoping Seth Rollins loses so he will realize he is a joke and get away from that dumb gimmick. Well, I have my prediction. I'm not going to say anything else. I like the gimmick, though. I will say that much. He's over as a babyface, so why change it? People are loving Seth Rollins. He's getting the kind of reactions they wanted him to have back in 2019, and people were booing him at that point. So I say do not change the gimmick. It's working. He's getting huge crowd pops. He's maybe the most over he's ever been. And Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat, thank you for that, Walter, says, did DDP do this super positive gimmick in like 2002? Yeah, he did. 2001, 2002. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's what DDP did back in the day, although he ended up turning babyface and beating Christian at WrestleMania, and then he got hurt and his career was pretty much over. But yeah, DDP did do that gimmick, the overly cheesy, positive character, but then he turned a babyface anyways. Next up, oh, by the way, Chelsea Green also complained to Adam Pearce, and Sonya Deville was there. And Sonya Deville is the new partner for Chelsea Green. Chelsea had Carmella. Carmella disappeared. Hopefully she's okay. And Piper Niven last week was Chelsea's partner, and now it's Sonya Deville. More on that to come. We had our weigh-in for Omos versus Brock Lesnar. Omos had some bland, generic entrance music, and now he has new bland, generic entrance music. Just had to make note of that. MVP cut a promo, said Brock Lesnar dominated all these people, ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak, but Brock Lesnar cannot suplex or F5 Omos. We'll see about that. They did the weigh-in. Omos weighed in at 410 pounds. And then Brock Lesnar showed up. He attacked Omos. He was not doing this weigh-in crap. He just wanted to fight. He went for the scale. He was going to use the scale, but Omos kicked him, hit him with a big boot, and then Omos grabbed the scale, and Brock Lesnar had to flee because Omos is scary enough as it is, but holding a giant scale, Brock Lesnar decided to wait until WrestleMania. Segment was fine, and I definitely have my prediction locked in for this one. So again, stay tuned for predictions. D. Martin 5th with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Says, should Chelsea and Sonya team up and call themselves the Complaint Department? And should the band that does Cody's music, should they sing Cody to the ring like they did at Revolution? No, because they did not. They make some great songs. Like Cody's song is a banger, and Dolph Ziggler's song, but their live performance was not that good. So I would say no. And as far as Sonya and Chelsea, like I liked the Chelsea and Carmella team, but maybe this Sonya team will work out and they'll be the new thing. We'll see. We had a Charlotte Flair video package and a promo backstage from Rhea Ripley. Basically, Rhea Ripley saying that Charlotte's legacy will not define her destiny. And yes, just again, another reminder, because why not? It's WrestleMania season. We want to make sure everybody tunes in live for these predictions. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You may ask why 2 live streams for predictions? Because I do not want to do a 3-hour prediction stream. It's just too much. So just like WrestleMania's 2 nights, we do 2 live streams. And I wanted to do the confirmed full night 1 card for the night 1 of predictions. But again, we don't know most of the matches as far as which night they're going to be on. We had a Finn Balor promo in some dark room, and basically the idea here is that the Demon is in fact coming to WrestleMania, probably to face the Brood Edge. There's a lot of rumors out there. Will Bad Bunny show up to help Edge if Damian Priest interferes? Will Gangrel show up? That's another rumor. Torvik23 sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, where's Bray? I mean, as far as we know, he's dealing with some kind of personal / health issue. And yeah, it looks like that match ain't happening. Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. Bobby Lashley is in the Dre, which really sucks for him. He went from fighting Brock Lesnar, and now he doesn't even have a WrestleMania match. He's got a spot in the Dre, which he has to win, right? Like, he's by far the highest level wrestler in that match. Like, Bobby Lashley enters the Dre and doesn't win. Like, that would lower his stock. I don't care if 10 guys throw him out. Bobby Lashley has to win that, as far as I'm concerned. We had an 8-man tag team match with all of the showcase participants. Street Profits teamed up with Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy and the Raiders, the Viking Raiders, and all 8 of them were in the ring, and then the ring cleared out, and we had the big guys going at it, Braun Strowman, Otis, and Ivar, and then Montez Ford came back in, came off the top, but Otis caught him with a power slam, and Otis worked him over for a while, but Otis started showing off for Maxine Dupree, who was watching backstage, and that led to Dawkins getting the hot tag. Braun Strowman did the Strowman Express, and he power slammed Eric. Ricochet came off Braun Strowman's shoulders with a splash, and then Montez Ford did the big frog splash over Strowman, jumped over him, pinned Eric 1, 2, 3. Good guys got the win here. And this one's a little hard to call just because I feel like this is one of those matches where they might just draw straws as to who wins it. Like, does it really matter? But I'm leaning towards a team. And again, you'll have to tune in for that. Backstage, Cody Rhodes cut a promo, once again saying that Solo's not ready for him and he vowed to win the title. And then we had, in my opinion, the best parody for WrestleMania of this year and maybe any year. I loved it. The Goodfellas parody, specifically the Funny How scene with Joe Pesci back in the day. That was a great scene in that movie. I mean, that's I think the most memorable scene, but that's an overall great movie. Anyways, they did the parody of that scene and Roman Reigns in the Joe Pesci role. Very funny stuff here. I enjoyed it. And then we had Austin Theory in an empty arena cutting a promo and said that John Cena exposed himself. No, not that, Dirty Minds. He said that John Cena cannot see the future in front of his own eyes. And John Cena will be looking up to Austin Theory. Austin Theory is going to make John Cena a believer. And the WWE Universe will stop believing in John Cena. This was a good little promo, and maybe it was a clever idea for Austin Theory to cut this promo in an empty arena so you would not get the what chance. And it's just something different. You know, they do these kind of empty arena promos ever so often. Kind of, the one negative about it is I think of the pandemic era when he's in that empty arena cutting a promo. But those were actually really good promos during the pandemic when the wrestler was just there in the arena, didn't have to be distracted by the fans. And it worked. It was a good promo. We had Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Candice LeRae and Meechin, not Meacham, not Jeff Meacham, but Meechin, Mia Yim. And, nothing too noteworthy about this. Basic match here. Chelsea Green got the win. She pinned Meechin, with the unprettier. And Sonya, Chelsea Green, they advance to the women's showcase match, and they will not be winning. Although, again, it's one of those matches where they may just randomly pick a winner, and it could be them to give them some momentum. I'm torn on the showcase matches. Part of me just doesn't care to really think about my predictions, but I will give it some thought now that we know all of the participants that are confirmed. We had Paul Heyman cutting a promo saying that it's Cody that isn't ready for Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa is going to weaken Cody, and then at WrestleMania, Cody will have to acknowledge the tribal chief. Oh, I forgot. Ronda Rousey's in that match. So, yeah, forget what I said about not knowing. I mean, that's a spoiler. Giving away one of my predictions right now. Ronda ain't losing at WrestleMania in a throwaway match. Like, that would be just ridiculous for her to be in that match and not win. All right. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. But before the match, Dominic cut a great promo, said that it takes a lowlife to hit a child. And it shows that Rey is really a deadbeat. Dominic showed the footage, started speaking in Spanish, was getting great heat, and said he should have told his mother to shut up a long time ago. And then the money line. I've said this on other streams, and I'm glad they finally had him deliver the line. The money line. He said that he wished that Eddie Guerrero was his real father and Rey never existed. Yes, I'm so happy that he mentioned Eddie here for the heel heat and said that he wished Eddie was his real father. This was a money promo. Best promo of Dominic's career. The dude is on fire. He is just running with the ball with this character. I've been loving this storyline. Second best storyline in WWE next to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens with the Usos. Great stuff here. And then we had the match between Rey and Damian Priest. Rey went for a 619 but got wiped out with a clothesline. Dominic, or Damian, I should say, was delivering some punishment to Rey. Rey made his comeback, finally hit the 619, and then went up top, but Dominic knocked him off right in front of the referee, causing a disqualification. And thank you for that, Jerry, as far as what Dominic said in Spanish. After the match was over, they continued to attack Rey until Legado del Fantasma made the save. And again, I think I have my prediction for this one. Stay tuned. We had a little segment backstage where the wrestlers were looking at a list of names to see if they were in the Battle Royal, which I thought they already announced the participants on SmackDown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they showed a graphic with the participants. So how are they just finding out about this now? This was a weird segment. Bobby Lashley was back there. A bunch of guys were shown. Again, I feel bad for Bobby Lashley that he is in this position, but, you know, shit happens, I guess. Hopefully they do something big with him after WrestleMania. We had Owens and Zayn cutting a backstage promo and a little reference to PWG without saying PWG, basically saying Los Angeles is where they got their first big break. And Jeff Meacham and I can definitely vouch for that line, because we were at those old school PWG shows back when they were running at the JCC in Hollywood, 2005. When KO was Kevin Steen and a guy was there wearing a mask, and actually that wasn't Sami Zayn, that was El Generico, and El Generico went off to the orphanage. Two different people, of course. But yeah, great promo here from these guys. I love the PWG reference. And then we had Gunther going up against Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler did what he needed to do here, made Gunther look like a killer, was selling like crazy, sold the chop really well. Ziggler got in a little bit of offense. He managed to hit the Fameasser, but of course Gunther kicked out, and then Gunther recovered, powerbombed him, finished him off with the last sympathy. What am I, Scott Steiner? Symphony, and got the easy win. After the match, Gunther cut a promo and said that that was going to be the fate that awaits Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. We have a few super chats here. Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, stay undefeated by saying yes and acknowledge No DQ. I appreciate that. Everybody acknowledge No DQ. Big week ahead, big weekend. Make sure you're following NoDQ.com and the Twitter account and the Facebook account at NoDQ, DOTCOM. Walter sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Much appreciated. He said, following the story, Rey isn't Dominic's dad. He just won his custody. Eddie is his real father because Rey was having issues. Just saying, and say yes to No DQ. That was a fun storyline, regardless of how goofy it was back in the day. Like, we still talk about it today. Like, people remember that storyline and that ladder match, the custody of Dominic. So I think it worked. I know at the time people thought, like, man, this is such a stupid storyline, but we're still talking about it all these years later. And finally, we had our main event. We had Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Solo undefeated on the main roster. Cody Rhodes undefeated since returning. And Solo was dominating early. He tossed Cody around. They fought on the floor. Cody was slammed on the announce table. And Solo had the upper hand for a bit. Cody started to make a comeback after a failed attempt at the disaster kick. He hit the crossroads, but could not make the cover right away. And he finally made the cover. Solo got his foot on the rope. And then Cody went for the moonsault, but missed. And Cody avoided the Samoan spike, hit another cutter. And at this point, the Usos showed up. And they did a great distraction here, near fall. You had Solo taking advantage of the distraction with the spinning Solo, but Cody kicked out of it. And then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens showed up to even the odds. There was a brawl. Perfect. Don't do too much. They did the little brawl here as the final thing, although we do have SmackDown. And meanwhile, back in the ring, Cody Rhodes hit another crossroads and got the 1-2-3 victory. So Solo Sikoa losing his first match on the main roster by pinfall. Cody Rhodes builds up that momentum. And yeah, like Ryan said, Cody needed the win here, build him up as the challenger. Now Roman has to be a little nervous. His enforcer got beat for the first time on the main roster. So absolutely the right finish. Solo will be fine. He could take the loss. He's been dominant for a while now. And that was it. That was the final moment of the go-home Monday Night Raw before the pay-per-view, the premium live event, whatever you want to call it. It was a good show. A lot of it was basic, though, like no real heavy angle or anything like that, just promos and matches designed to just set up fans for WrestleMania. So it was a good show. I give it a solid B. Good go-home show for WrestleMania. They didn't really take any chances. They played it safe for the most part, but everything they did was solid. And Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. Says, 2 to 3 years from now, when the Usos are baby faces, they will need to pick a third partner, and it will be Sami Zayn. That will get a huge pop. Well, we'll see about that. I mean, it could happen eventually where the Usos reconcile with Sami Zayn, but that could be a year or two down the line, like you said, maybe even 3 years down the line. But yeah, right now the focus is WrestleMania, and then we'll see what happens with the bloodline afterwards. That was Raw, everybody. Much love and appreciation to everybody out there for tuning in. Caleb said, is this confirmation of Cody winning? Maybe, maybe not. Tune in. Live predictions Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and then Thursday night for part 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Have a great week, everybody. Looking forward to discussing WrestleMania matches and predictions. So stay tuned and say yes to NoDQ.com. on the final days until WrestleMania 39. And I will see you all next time.